Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 58. Tesla is crushing it in China, maybe so much they are hurting the competition. And the Ford Mustang Mach E is not off to a great start. And Tesla's quality seems to get better and better. And Tesla is secretly building a big battery in Texas. And Volkswagen is yet again in the headlines with software issues. And analysts think that GM can catch up with Tesla on battery price. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Ford is not having the best start with their Ford Mustang Mach E. I reported last week Ford took a lot of headlines about stealing Tesla sales, even though Tesla sales are still going up, but never mind that. But this week we unfortunately hear that Ford is already facing its first recall. A total of 1,258 Mach E's are part of a recall Ford announced last Friday, though most of the affected vehicles have not yet been delivered to buyers, so that's good, as they said during checks to deliver high level of quality and customer satisfaction. Ford discovered some vehicles may have subframe bolts that the supplier did not tighten to specifications. The automaker said in a statement. Ford said it is not aware of any accident related to the problem. Of the 1,258 total vehicles affected by the recall, Ford says fewer than 75 have actually reached customers' hands, and the remaining Mach E crossover will be serviced before customer delivery. So the roll-off of the Mach E is going slower than expected, with about 4,500 vehicles subject to delays. To keep buyers happy, Ford is offering customers a $1,000 cashback incentive upon delivery. It's unclear if Friday's recall announcement will cause future delays. But not the best start for the Mach E, crossing my fingers that there won't be any more delays or recalls. There has just been a research out on batteries for EVs, and they do think that Tesla will stay the leader, but they also think that GM will catch up. The first problem I have with this research is the price they use. They don't seem to add up. They said Tesla's price was $142 per kilowatt hour at the cell level, and GM was about $169 per kilowatt hour, and the industry average was about $186 per kilowatt hour. So I don't know where they get the $142 for Tesla from, because we do know Sandy Munro that has teared the car apart and calculated that Tesla's price for their battery was about $108 per kilowatt hour. And that is what Sandy Munro does for a living and has done for the last 35 years. So I tend to believe this man on things like this. So I do believe that Tesla is closer to the $100 per kilowatt hour now, as Elon has said they would get to. And after Battery Day, Elon said that they have found a roadmap to save 56% on cost. And Elon has been saying before that they think they will get down to $50 to $55 per kilowatt hours. So for this current company to say that Tesla will only get down to $106 per kilowatt hour at the pack level in 2030 is not grounded in any of the numbers we got from Tesla themselves or Sandy Munro or so on. Because if Tesla today is at about $108 and will save about 56%, they are closer to $48 in probably 2030 or maybe even before. So Elon's prediction of about $50 seems to fit perfectly. So yeah, maybe GM will be at the level they are talking about, I simply don't know, but Tesla most certainly won't. I again just think these analyst companies don't really understand what Tesla is doing and how fast they are going to do it, because for them to show this chart showing GM being neck and neck with Tesla in price of battery cells at the pack level is just nuts. Sorry, but this is simply not the case. Tesla will in 2025 probably be making about 1,500 gigawatt hours of battery production of their own batteries. Not made in collaboration with anyone else like GM is doing, so for that reason alone, it would be impossible to get close to Tesla's price, but in 2025 I don't expect GM to make, in collaboration with LG Chem, more than 100 gigawatt hours. They might be buying more batteries from other battery manufacturers, but that will not make it cheaper, quite the opposite. So Tesla will probably make 15 times more battery than GM in 2025. And the economy of scale does matter. And that Tesla makes their own batteries does matter. And that Tesla even mines some of their materials themselves does matter. So sorry, but GM has no chance to get this close to Tesla. That is my prediction anyway. And let's take a look at all the Gigafactories. And we see that the Giga Berlin is starting to get machines up inside and office furniture. And when we take a look outside, thanks to Gigafactory 4 Tesla, we can see the factory is already looking like a finished factory. Not much left to do outside. And let's take a look at the Giga Texas, because that place is coming along so quick it's hard to keep up. But luckily we have Jeff Roberts and Joe Tagmeyer making all these great videos about Giga Texas, keeping us all up to date. And just look at Jeff's flyover here from the 11th of March. Now all the different parts of the factory is now combined. And man, this is a big factory. Just look at those tiny people walking around on the roof of the factory. And we can see they are getting ready to build the battery cell production facility right here. And Joe Tagmeyer just did a great video trying to compare the pilot battery facility from Fremont to the area here in Texas, to get the discussion going on just how big this place is and how many batteries they might be able to produce. And Joe gets to an area size of about 42,000 square meters or 450,000 square feet. Yes, people in the US measure everything in feet. How tall are you? This tall. Sorry, couldn't help myself there. Just pissed off 50% of my viewers. Sorry guys. But this big area, Joe is thinking, is about 2.5 times bigger than the Fremont, and therefore would be able to produce about 50 gigawatt hours. And that all makes sense, but I do think they will be able to produce a lot more than that at the Giga Texas factory than just 50 gigawatt hours. I do think it would be very different than how they're doing it at the pilot project in Fremont. If we take what we know about the Giga Berlin factory that is currently working on a big building at the Giga Berlin that we don't know officially what is for, but everything points to this is being the location of Giga Berlin's battery plant, and that size is 22,000 square meters, or a lot of feet. But we know Elon has been telling us that the battery factory in Berlin will be able to produce about 100 gigawatt hours, and they do expect it to end up being able to produce about 200 to 250 gigawatt hours. And that is only in a building that is about 22,000 square meters, and the Texas areas is almost twice that. So maybe we are looking at more like 200 gigawatt hours in the beginning at the Giga Texas, and long term something like 400 to 500 gigawatt hours. And that would make more sense that only 50 gigawatt hours, since the semi-truck and Cybertruck are going to be made here, and they would very quickly eat up those 50 gigawatt hours of batteries. So to be able to keep up with the production we also expect out of Texas, then my guess is that it is more in this ballpark, about 400 to 500 gigawatt hours. But we are of course just speculating and guessing here, and Joe just wanted to get this discussion going, so let me know your guesses down below, and definitely go check out Joe's video from the 10th of March. And we got another little sneak peek of the Lucid Air being test driven. We did get to see Peter Rawlinson, the CEO of Lucid, making his first test drive in the pre-production version of the Lucid Air, where he talks a bit about the drive and small fixes they still need to do, but they are getting very close to production of this car. But another EV startup that is getting really close to production is Rivian. New documents required by Tesla showed the automaker is applying for, submitting and completing several new additions to its manufacturing plants that will soon begin cracking out builds of its all-electric R1T pickup truck. Oh yes, a lot of great new EVs are on its way. And another EV startup is revealing a very affordable pickup truck. Electric reported on this very secretive EV startup called Alpha Motors, and they have just revealed a new little affordable pickup truck. The specs are nothing crazy. They do a 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds, have a range of 250 to 275 plus miles of range. Its towing capacity is about 1,300 kilos or 3,000 pounds, so not too much there, but should be enough for most private persons, and it only seats 2 passengers. So not the biggest specs or claims here from Alpha Motors, but with a sticker price of only $36,000 before any incentive, does make it quite a bargain. But not much is known about Alpha Motors, and they still have a very, very long way to go to get this car to market, so I would not hold my breath. But another EV startup that want to be part of the game, so I say bring it on. And I know a lot of people are talking about Tesla's build quality, but they are getting better and better, as we already know. But now we have got a new list out of China about complaints, and the Tesla Model 3 was the one that has the lowest complaint rating in China. Only 0.7 complaints for every 10,000 vehicles. That is very good. And we did also get news about the new Tesla Model Y in China is already ranking as number 5 among all premium SUV in China. They sold in February 4,630 units, very impressive. And Tesla might be doing so well in China that it's hurting the other EV makers. Li 1 sales dropped from 5,379 units in January to 2,300 in February, and NIO's ES6 from 2,720 to 2,216. NIO's January sales leader, the EC6, is out of sight among the top 10. But we of course don't know if this is caused by Tesla's success or just coincident. But I will definitely keep an eye on the sales numbers in China. And Tesla is secretly building a 100 megawatt-hour battery just south of Houston to help out the Texas grid. But Tesla is not even building this big battery in their own name, but as a subsidiary company registered as Gambit Energy Storage LLC. So why is Tesla doing this in secret? Maybe they are planning to make more of these big batteries to help out the whole state's grid and really get into the energy business in Texas. Daniel Finn Foley, head of energy storage at Wood Mackenzie Power and Renewables, highlighted Tesla's standing in the energy sector in a statement. Tesla's energy storage business on a percentage basis is growing faster than the car business and is only going to accelerate. They are absolutely respected as a player, competing aggressively on price. Yeah, Tesla's energy business is about to take off. And we got some more teams up for making better batteries. Northvolt, the battery manufacturer which is 20% owned by Volkswagen Group, announced that it had required the Stanford University battery cell spin-off Cuberg to help its research in mass production target of 1,000 watt-hours per liter of energy density by 2025. It already claims a 70% improvement over lithium-ion batteries. They don't expect to industrialize this new battery before 2025, and my question is, of course, but how many can they make? That is, of course, the most important matrix, but they did unfortunately not speak about the production. But very interesting and definitely something to keep an eye on. And Volkswagen doesn't seem to be able to get out of the headlines when it comes to software issues. In a recent video by Jason at Engineering Explained, he tried to take the Volkswagen ID.4 on a road trip. He had hoped to prove that you don't need a Tesla to go on a road trip anymore in the US, but that ended up not being the case this time. You can of course take other EVs on a road trip, but Jason was very disappointed with how the charging worked. Also because if you drive a Tesla to a Tesla charger, you just plug it in and that is it. And the same goes for the Ford Mach E. You just plug it in to the Electrify America chargers and it just starts charging, as it should. But the ID.4 made by Volkswagen, that are also the ones who made the whole Electrify America charging network because of the Dieselgate scandal, does not work this way. When you pull up in your ID.4, you have to plug it in, locate your charger on an app, select your charger, select your charging cable and swipe to initiate. The experience the ID.4 owner will have at a charging station compared to a Ford Mach E is just very, very different. And it is the same charger that Volkswagen is using and Volkswagen has made. To me, this just really showcases Volkswagen's Achilles heel. Software. They still have a lot of problems with getting their software to work properly, and when they are making solutions like this to charge their cars, just show me they don't have very good software engineers, and that is a big problem. EVs are just software on wheels, so if you don't have great software, you don't have much. So I really hope Volkswagen soon will get their ID.3 and ID.4 updated so they can make over-the-air update, so they soon can make this work just as good as the competition. But remember to go watch Jason's great video on YouTube about him testing the ID.4 on the road trip. I will leave a link in the description. But as Alex reported on Twitter, it is not only Volkswagen that have software issues. Daimler recalled in the US 1.3 million vehicles and announced now 2.6 million cars to be called back to service in China. Issues? The emergency call delivers a wrong location. What would Tesla do? An over-the-air software update. You would likely not even be informed about it. Yeah, software is just not German's friend. And we got some more rumors about Tesla in India. And Reuters reported that Tesla is in talk with India's Tata Power for EV charging infrastructure. So it does look more and more like Tesla is going to build a car factory in India. And could make sense, as we talked about before. India would be a great place to transport cars to Asia and Africa, and India does have cheaper workforce than China, so Tesla should be able to make the cars even more affordable by making them in India. And if Tesla is looking into making a whole charging infrastructure in India, they will also be making cars in the country. But Tesla has not given us anything official on this yet, but can't be long before we get an announcement from Tesla on building a factory in India together with charging infrastructure. And another week and another Starlink launch. In fact, we had 2 more Starlink launches. Both were successful and both landed the booster back down on the drone ship. And Elon did answer a tweet about Starlink that it would not get into cars as the terminal is too big. But this is for aircraft, ships, large trucks and RVs. This means that Tesla Semi is an ideal candidate to install a Starlink terminal to provide internet access to drivers. It is likely that this could become an additional feature in the trucks and provide uninterrupted internet access to improve the quality of transportation and optimize logistics, which will make Tesla Semi even more valuable and desirable for owners. The ability to install a terminal in an RV is also an excellent idea. So while traveling and relaxing in your RV, users will be able to have constant access to internet. Just so much potential in this Starlink internet. And as I made a whole video about, Elon wants to make a new city called Starbase. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. But basically, Elon wants to make a whole city on the little half island where they are building their starships and Boca Chica is located on. But for more details, check out my video on this project. And SpaceX did celebrate a year of great accomplishment with fireworks at the SpaceX facility at Boca Chica. But we still have a lot of great things to look forward to this year. As Boca Chica gal tweeted, Booster BN1 stacking has begun in the high bay. So that would be the booster for the Starship. Now that is going to be a sight. Can't wait to see this one. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And Chris here did catch a Tesla semi driving around on the Tesla's test track with the Model 3 in front of it, filming it. Hopefully this means what we see here is the final design and Tesla is shooting some footage of the semi for commercial use. And this week Tesla Raj showed us his Tesla with full self-driving beta software making a U-turn. Yeah, there is not much left this full self-driving beta can't do. And LG hopes to make new battery cells for Tesla in 2023 in the US and Europe. And LG plans for it to be in the new 4680 large format. So nothing official yet, but very exciting. Elon did confirm in a tweet this week you will be able to plug in a tiny house to the Cybertruck, meaning that you could power your entire tiny house for hundreds of days on the Cybertruck's battery alone. This is very cool. And Tesla saves lives again, but this time not because of a crash, but this man was held up at gunpoint. But as the man reached for the door handle that is not easy to open, the driver floored it and escaped. Wow, there's a lot of crazy people out there. And speaking of acceleration, just look at all this refreshed Model S getting ready for delivery. And Swiss bank UBS predict that the battle for domination in the electric vehicle market will be between Tesla and Volkswagen. And not some of the Chinese startup like NIO and Xpeng or older guys like Ford and GM. But time will tell if their prediction is right. And Roger Roche tweeted about how great Tesla is at managing battery fires. Only one vehicle fire for every 205 million miles traveled. In comparison, fossil fuel cars in the US has one fire every 19 million miles driven. Yes, EVs are just better and safer in every way. And don't forget, Volkswagen will hold their Power Day tomorrow, where they will probably show what they're working on when it comes to batteries and EVs. Yes, they are kind of copying Tesla here a bit, but this is a good thing for the EV market. So looking forward to see what they have up their sleeves. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Adrian Cartwright, Brian Heder, Kiam, and I thank you for watching, members. Yogi Shevlahau, Swine Raw Lai, Peter Jordan, Louis Vacan, Steve Simpson, and Liderman. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you so much. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Holmars tweeted this testing out of the speaking command in the ID.3 versus Tesla Model 3.
Hello, ID. I'm cold.
This function is currently not available.
My balls are cold.
Yeah, never nice to have cold balls. That is all we have time for in this news episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps out this video a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button or notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. If you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of the show and get your shout out here on this channel. You can also become a member of Best in Tesla YouTube channel and get shout outs and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. But going forward, I will make more videos available for Patreons and members only, so don't miss out. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news and more in there as it comes out. And check out the merch store to support this show and get some merchandise. And now it's also possible to support this show without buying anything, becoming a member or a Patreon. There is a link to a donation option in the show notes. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.